Since April 2023, Sudan has been engulfed in a violent military conflict between the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, leading to one of the most severe humanitarian and political crises in the country's recent history. This conflict has deep historical roots and is intertwined with various internal and external factors, including the roles played by regional and international powers such as the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and the United States. In this article, we will discuss the developments of the conflict, its causes, and the role of regional and international states in it. Background of the conflict. The conflict primarily stems from the increasing tensions between the Sudanese military leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the RSF commander Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, known as Hemedti. The RSF, originally part of the Sudanese security apparatus, evolved into a semi-independent military force, raising concerns within the Sudanese military about its potential threat to their authority. Tensions escalated when Hemedti refused to comply with the Sudanese military's orders to integrate under a unified command, as he sought to strengthen the RSF's influence and control over key economic resources in the country, including gold mines controlled by the RSF. These tensions eventually led to a full-blown military confrontation in April 2023. Developments of the conflict. Since the conflict erupted, Sudan has witnessed intense fighting between the SAF and the RSF across various regions of the country, including the capital, Khartoum, and the Darfur region, which has been plagued by armed conflicts for years. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of thousands of civilians and the displacement of millions, with many people facing severe shortages of food, water, and healthcare. In Darfur, the RSF has been accused of committing atrocities against non-Arab communities, including mass killings, rape, and forced displacement, leading to accusations of ethnic cleansing and war crimes. The role of the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates plays a significant role in the Sudanese conflict by supporting the RSF. The UAE views Sudan as part of its regional sphere of influence and seeks to maintain stability in the country in line with its economic and geopolitical interests. According to various reports, the UAE has provided financial and military support to the RSF, helping Hemedti build his military and economic power. The UAE sees Hemedti as an important ally who can safeguard its investments in Sudan, particularly in the gold and agricultural sectors. Additionally, the UAE believes that its support for Hemedti could give it leverage in Sudan, allowing it to influence the course of events in the country in its favor. The role of the United States. The United States has taken a more complex approach to dealing with the Sudanese conflict. Washington has attempted to balance its support for democratic transition in Sudan with the need to ensure the country's stability, which aligns with its strategic interests in the region. After the conflict erupted, the United States called for a ceasefire and urged a return to negotiations between the warring parties. However, Washington's efforts to achieve this have been limited in effectiveness due to the complexities of Sudan's internal situation and the regional and international entanglements. The United States also imposed sanctions on military leaders from both sides in an attempt to pressure them into negotiations, but this has not yielded significant results in halting the conflict. Humanitarian impact of the conflict. The conflict in Sudan has led to a devastating humanitarian crisis, with thousands killed and millions displaced both internally and externally. The United Nations estimates that around 18 million people in Sudan are in urgent need of humanitarian assistance, as living conditions have sharply deteriorated across most parts of the country. The situation in Darfur is particularly dire, where mass killings, rape, and forced displacement have exacerbated the humanitarian disaster. The besieged city of al-Fasher is a clear example of this devastation, as it continues to suffer from relentless bombardment and aerial attacks, resulting in numerous civilian casualties. International efforts to resolve the conflict. Despite international efforts to halt the conflict, the situation in Sudan continues to deteriorate. The United Nations, the African Union, and other countries have attempted to mediate a peaceful resolution to the conflict, but most of these efforts have yielded little success. Criticism has been particularly directed at the weak international response, with some describing it as inadequate given the scale of the crisis.